All right, so we're talking about opposite signs, okay? So I'm gonna talk about Virgo and Pisces. So I love to think about where a sign is in the zodiac order to understand their purpose and their direction. So first we have Virgo, that is the sixth house. And so, or sixth sign, sixth house, right? So Virgo is a sign of service and health and detail orientedness. So essentially what you have now is you have the second earth sign that is now trying to break down information ruled by Mercury, and Virgo is trying to figure out how to make sense of the information. Okay, so think about the zodiac. Aries is about self, adventure. Second house, Taurus, foundation, structure. Third house, Gemini, communication, ideas. Fourth house, we have Cancer, emotions, nurturing, family. Fifth house, we have Leo, fun, generosity, children. And now we have Virgo. So when we hit now we have the second earth sign. So now we start to think about how are we going to use what we've earned? How do we use what we have? How do we break it down? What does this mean? Whereas up until that, Virgo was the first sign we start thinking about what does this actually mean? And then from Virgo you get some other signs that start to definitely break it down, right? So you got like Scorpio, who's very probing and observant and very like methodical, and you have Sagittarius, the big purpose, like like Aquarius, Pisces. Once you get to those older signs, you start to see this. So Virgo is the first sign we start to think about, here's all we have all these things, what does it mean? Let's break it down. It's also the first time we start thinking about service. We have Cancer, but Cancer is more about the inner connection, right? The friendship, the family, that bond. Virgo is like, what are we doing for others? You see what I'm saying? And then we have Pisces, where Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And so I really don't, when it comes to astrology, I think symbolically, people have to understand Pisces energy, because a lot of people don't understand how important it is. It is the last sign. It's going through everything. It is compassionate. It is the sign that does deal with illusions and dreams, because it's done everything else. What else is there left to do? That's why Pisces is kind of chill. A lot of Pisces people are kind of chill. Now, some people sometimes are like, oh, Pisces people, they're manipulative. Well, listen, every sign has a negative side. Every sign has people that are negative, right? If you have a Pisces in your life that's lying, well, think about the energy. Neptune is about illusions and dreams. And because Neptune rules Pisces, you can have a person who's very sweet, very dreamy, very, connected to spirituality, or you can have people that use that Neptune energy to kind of have smoke and mirrors, manipulation, lies. It's very easy. I think it's very easy for Pisces to lie. Not that they're all liars, but I'm saying like it's easier because of that energy Neptune, which allows them to do that, or that energy of Neptune where people will believe them. Because remember, Neptune is about dreams, illusions. You see what you want to see. It's not about what's tangible. See what I'm saying? So I'm not saying all that for Pisces. I'm saying like that is why I think there's a stereotype about Pisces when it's a really important sign. It is a sign of compassion, of complete acceptance. Okay, the other water signs, there's conditions. Okay, let's be honest here. With Cancer and Scorpio, there's conditions to getting their love. There's conditions to getting that water energy from them. Pisces is accepting of all. Pisces can be very compassionate. It's kind of like giving without wanting anything in return. Why? It's 12 signs of zodiac. It doesn't need anything in return. See what I'm saying? So that's a symbolic reason. But as opposite signs, I think both signs, Virgo and Pisces together, they illustrate the absence of ego. Virgo's not doing things for attention, for ego. Virgo does it because it's a part of their makeup. It's who they are. Pisces, it's a part of their makeup too. That's just what we do. That's what Pisces says. That's what we do. Now for Virgo, it's more of a task-oriented energy. They're earth, but they are very much about getting things done. Mercury rules them, so it's also about their, the communication and breaking things down in a conceptual way. And when you see the 6th house across from the 12th house, 6th house is the Virgo energy house, right? It's Mercury. So with the 6th house, with that 6th placement, we're talking about service and earth and task, like things that we see people are doing. The 12th house, sometimes we don't see what people are doing because Pisces energy is more about the emotional aspect of it. So that's where Virgo and Pisces differ. Whereas Virgo wants to see it. They need to see it, and Pisces needs to feel it. And so when you think about these two signs as opposite signs, I mean, opposite meaning there's similarities, but there are differences as well. But this, because they're opposite signs, there's a shared energy there. You know, I get along pretty well with Pisces, even though like I'm different. I get them. Now I also have a lot of 3 planets in my 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Neptune and Pisces, so that could also be a reason why I'm cool with Pisces energy. But in general, I understand the energy pretty well. It can be frustrating though, because there are such different wavelengths. Virgo is trying to get things done. Pisces doesn't have the same urge that Virgo does. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so there can sometimes be a lot of nervous energy there. So Virgo is worried about getting things done in time and all these different things happening. And Pisces is more like, I'm going to do things when I feel it's right to do it. Pisces can also have the intuitive nature to them. Pisces is not in a rush, because one, symbolically, it's the oldest sign. It's 12th sign, so it's kind of already seen things, been there before. And also, Pisces is not, you know, a lot of Pisces people have that sensitivity to intuition and intuitiveness. And so sometimes Pisces might just know something and they don't need to do all that work that Virgo's doing. And because they're so different, sometimes that can be where there's that. Virgo's like, you're not living in reality. Like, break it down. Let's think about this. Why are you not thinking about it? Pisces might think Virgo is too structured and routine, because Pisces can retract from that. I have a lot of Pisces. Pisces is very sensitive. And when you have different options when you're very sensitive. You can just yield, or you can just run away. And Pisces is not, and I don't mean run away in a submissive way. I mean just disconnect, like I'm done with this. Because remember, Neptune can do that very easily. Neptune is the unconscious. Neptune is dreams, illusions, our desires, our whims, what we want. And so if Pisces doesn't want something, they're not going to do it. But the thing with Pisces is sometimes they won't tell you that. That makes Virgo mad. Virgo is obsessed with communication. Gemini too. But Virgo's obsessed with communication. And Pisces can sometimes disconnect from that if they feel they're being controlled, or they feel that somebody's trying to push them into some type of routine or system, or push them into something they don't feel like doing. Pisces can sometimes, run away from that situation. Pisces can, detach themselves from someone easily if they keep feeling that they're not being listened to or they're not being heard. And because other signs can be so loud and brash when they're done with somebody, it can cause Virgo sometimes to be like, wait, what's going on? But at the same time, Virgo can sometimes dislike how Pisces, they can view Pisces not being realistic enough. Like, okay, Pisces, I get it. What are we going to do? This is the reality. And Pisces sometimes can have their head in the clouds because they're not in a rush, and there's not a lot of urgency there. And so that's where they're going to have the biggest difference, is like their ability to understand each other's needs. Because internally, Virgo, especially like a Virgo moon or something, like they need to know stuff. They need to see how it's going to conceptually work. They're an earth sign. Earth is about what you can see, what is physically manifesting. Do we have the money? Do we have the contract? Do we have a plan? And Pisces might be like, well, why don't we just do it like this? I'm visioning like this. And Virgo's like, what are you talking about? What is the plan? And so that's where they have to learn. But as a team, they can work really well together because you have the vision. Pisces is the vision, Pisces is the creativity. And you have Virgo who can get it done and break it down. And because they're both detailed. Virgo's detail-oriented, but Pisces is detail-oriented when it comes to creativity. They create really beautiful things, or they can have a really great imagination. And when you put someone together who has that with Virgo, so I mean either putting together as far as a partnership, or putting together such as like you have Pisces and Virgo in your chart, that's how the energy can work together.